but Chris is in that direction. Chris?
Those are feet prints. Look at that.
Hello?
Outdoor encounters are defined by their unnerving isolation. From discovering a vintage 1930s car abandoned in a silent forest to fleeing phantom screams and circling lights in the Devil's Forest, these moments prove that solitude can quickly turn into a trap. When your instincts scream, "Run," would you stay to investigate or disappear into the night? A quiet overnight getaway drew a solo camper into the forests near Loch Vah in the Scottish Highlands on August 18, 2025. The footage comes from Eleanor Grace Adventures, a YouTube channel known for solo travel and reflective wild camping in remote locations. Near Aviemore, Eleanor entered the woods in search of isolation, only to encounter a silence that felt heavier and more unsettling than expected.
Around here, apparently around here, is a very old and abandoned car. I wanted to come here to find this really creepy abandoned old car. How the hell did they get a car down here? Was it airlifted in? Then I found a little carved off path, so it's got to be around here somewhere. It's got to be. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for like a big...
The area feels vacant, untouched, and far removed from roads or regular foot traffic. With every step, she moves farther from town and deeper into a space that feels cut off from the outside world, as if the forest itself is holding its breath.
Hiya, mate. You been here a while, or...?
I've done a fair bit of research on this car, and some things are left together what I found from previous explorers online. This is an Opel Olympia, a 1938 model, which is also a left-hand drive.
There's like a really old tin there.
It was made by the German manufacturer Opel and likely imported from Europe around this time, as this is an earlier model. I'm still unsure of how exactly Opel got here. Yes, I'm giving her a nickname because she deserves one, okay? My guess is that this part of the forest was once easier to reach by car.
While exploring away from the main path, she stumbles upon something unexpected. A vintage Opel Olympia from the late 1930s abandoned deep among the trees. The surrounding terrain is dense with no visible access route, making the car's presence feel strangely out of place. Heavy rain soon begins to fall, and thick mist rolls through the forest. Rather than waiting it out, Eleanor decides to enter the loch. As she swims, the woods around her feel unnaturally quiet.
No better time than swimming in the rain. I mean, seriously. Who's in that case? There's just one person here that's swimming in torrential rain, me. And there must be people hiding in trees. Like, what the actual hell is she doing? Woohoo! Your dog is so cute. Really cute.
She's an idiot.
Oh, really? So am I. Don't worry about it. So nice, so happy. Oh, it's peeing it down. Retreat under tree. We've still got a camp, and if this is going to be the weather tonight, I'll always remember this day. That car, I'll always remember that car. I wish I could have camped like next to the car.
As evening approaches, Eleanor is forced to relocate after noticing parking restrictions and finds a new spot near the trees.
On Google Maps. We've come in further down a little bit, and I'm going to see what I can find here. This is absolutely stunning. You hear the birds? I don't know if you can, my mic's on. Wow. And I am covered by a tree, so hopefully it's actually not too bad.
She starts setting up her tent again while insects swarm relentlessly. The forest remains eerily silent, and the stillness slowly turns the space around her uncomfortable.
What you normally do. Look at the sun coming out, look, between the trees. That's beautiful. Look at the way I'm sat. This is not attractive, stuff like this. I've had to keep dried foods in my car for how long? Because I've been on this trip a while now. And I'm going to have a pot noodle. It's better than nothing. Midgies. Oh, for God's sake, Ellie. I left the sachet in. Come on. Not really. I might have to split this up. Just waiting for my pitter. Now what? This is my first time ever. Now, obviously I've camped a lot, but it's my first time ever camping. Like, I've got a rucksack full of stuff. This is how, obviously, a lot of wild camping is done. Stir crazy. Again. Sometimes you've just got to listen to yourself. I just know that I wouldn't enjoy it. I'm not going to enjoy this. I'm going to have to try and figure out a way to do this, like, where I actually enjoy it. Because if I'm not enjoying it and I'm just fidgeting all the time, like sat there for hours in the silence. 2 cars within the space of 2 minutes have just beat me when I was trying to sort out the back of the car. 2 blokes. I just went.
Later that night, after deciding to leave, Eleanor returns to her vehicle and organizes her gear at the back. 2 cars pass by and sound their horns as they go. Brief but intrusive, the attention feels unsafe and confirms that leaving was the right decision. Some viewers believe the experience reflects natural isolation and coincidence, while others point to how subtle moments, silence, separation, and unwanted attention can shift perception. When nothing seems clearly wrong, how do you decide whether to stay calm or trust your instincts and leave? A filmmaker and urban explorer known for capturing unsettling investigations on YouTube, Jasko frequently ventures into abandoned sites and remote forests with his friends Chris and Ben. One place, however, stood out: the Devil's Forest, notorious for violence, unexplained deaths, and disappearances. On September 16, 2025, Jasko and Chris camped deep within it, unaware that the calm would soon be broken. While walking along a trail, Jasko suddenly heard his name, spoken in Chris's voice.
I just heard my name being called from down the trail.
The issue was that Chris was nearly a quarter mile away in the opposite direction. What Jasko experienced next would leave him losing countless hours of sleep afterward.
But Chris is in that direction. Chris? But if he's down there, then... What the f? Yo! Who's down there? Hello?
This was not the first unsettling incident Jasko had faced in this forest. Years earlier, he had camped there during winter with his friend Ben. As they slept, footsteps crunched just outside their tent, and a spirit box warned that someone was approaching.
Scottish.
Moments later, a scream echoed through the frozen woods.
Oh, Ben! What the fuck was that? Yeah.
When they searched the area, they discovered fresh footprints pressed into a log resting on a frozen lake.
What? Look on that log right there. Holy... Ben? Those are feet prints. Look at that. What? No.
The tracks appeared without explanation and ended just as abruptly. To this day, that night remains unexplained. Back in the present, Jasko had just endured what he described as the scream of his life. Soon after, he and Chris were about to learn the true legend tied to the Devil's Forest.
Chris?
Yo.
Chris, did you hear that? Somebody just break a fucking window? What was that? What was that?
That was so loud.
As they prepared to sleep, a loud noise like shattering glass came from just outside their van. When they checked, nothing appeared broken or damaged.
Something there?
I don't know.
But Chris, what would make that glass noise?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense.
Is someone out here like messing with us?
The worst was still ahead. Moments later, Jasko and Chris faced the most terrifying moment they had ever experienced.
Chris.
That
That was a gunshot.
was absolutely.
That was a gunshot. Did you see anything?
There's a light. There's a
What?
fucking light right there.
Oh!
What's that?
Oh,
What
shit.
is that? There's somebody out
Chris,
there?
what the fuck? Yo,
What is that?
yo, there's someone out there. There's someone out there.
There's actually someone.
Bro, that's a light. That's a fucking light. It's moving. Chris, it's moving. There's someone outside the van right now.
There actually has been somebody here the whole time.
What the fuck?
From the trees, a moving light emerged, confirming that someone or something was nearby and circling their location.
Bro, if they have a gun and we're fucking hearing shit.
Fearing for their safety, they abandoned the campsite and ran barefoot into the night, determined not to stop until they were miles away from the forest. Whether the events were caused by something paranormal or by real people remains uncertain. What is clear is that Jasko entered the Devil's Forest twice, and both times he was forced to flee to protect his life and his friends. Their escape shows that sometimes leaving is the only option, but not everyone gets that chance. That became clear when Brendan later found himself trapped as headlights and footsteps closed in on his van. Some believe these encounters point to human threats, while others suspect something far more disturbing. Would you stay and investigate or leave without looking back? Brendan Explores is a channel built around calm outings, simple meals, drinks, and quiet scenery. On March 19, 2024, however, the trip took an unexpected turn. The trouble began before the adventure had even properly started. The night was bitterly cold. Vehicles sped through the area and motorhomes arrived and departed well past midnight. Brendan spent the night shifting between sleep and shivering, waiting for the sun to warm the van. By morning, the scene looked peaceful. Frost coated the roof, the sun rose steadily, and there was finally room to breathe. The day began normally. Breakfast was prepared, gear was packed, and after a few light moments with Steve, they set off toward the B-52 crash site. The trail quickly became demanding.
Well, you can definitely tell we're getting higher. There's a little bit of snow on the peaks here. I dare say it, and this is not, I repeat, not for dramatic effect, but we haven't seen another sign yet. We saw the one sign at the very start of the trail. We're slipping and sliding everywhere. Hopefully we get, give me a sign!
Icy patches, deep mud-soaked footwear, and long distances lay ahead. Even seasoned hikers they met warned that the route would be difficult under those conditions. Eventually, Brendan decided to turn back.
With the temperatures being sub-zero right now, even though the sun's shining, it is a cold day. I've now got wet feet. I know from previous experience, from doing various different things in my youth, with at least 3 or 4 miles to go, would be a pretty silly decision for my health. So it's not very often I turn back. I didn't feel safe going forward, and I think you have to be honest with yourself and actually look at what's going to come if things go wrong.
With sub-zero temperatures, wet feet, and hazardous terrain still miles ahead, pushing on would have risked his health. It was not an easy decision, but safety came first. The pace of the day slowed again. Brendan walked through Bakewell, picked up pastries, filmed briefly, then drove to a quiet hillside spot to camp. It felt like a place meant for a peaceful night. After dark, everything changed. As Brendan settled in, something struck the top of his partner's van loud enough to jolt him awake.
You all right, mate?
Yeah. And there's a car. Did you have it as well?
Yeah.
Like a.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at you, mate. Shoes. They were by the van. I don't know what he's doing up there. He's the one
Hang on.
worrying me a little bit.
Yeah, hang on.
I've got something to say.
What time is it?
You stay away from my van.
Honestly, when I heard that car go past, what were they doing?
I don't know. We've got somebody up there who's got a big spotlight on. He's our problem because he's just driving backwards and forwards. If you look, right? If you look, is there someone up there?
That scared the living daylights out of me.
Wow, I just banged my roof. I did then.
Jesus.
Soon after, a small van passed by, followed by a Land Rover, both moving quietly as they circled the area. Later, headlights appeared on the ridge above. A vehicle sat completely still with its engine off lights aimed directly at the camp, neither approaching nor leaving, simply watching.
So what are they playing at up there then?
Is that light up there?
It's just stalking us.
It's if it's sitting up there with the headlights on.
Yeah, like whether it's a vehicle or not. Well, it's definitely a vehicle because I heard it.
Yeah, I heard it. It was a little like Ford Connect van.
Well, why is he just stood there or
That's what I'm trying
sat
to
there
work
like
out,
stalking?
mate. If you lucky, if you stand here, right, it looks like there's two.
When the vehicle finally disappeared, Brendan launched a drone to scan the hillside. Instead of answers, it revealed something more unsettling.
Apologies if you guys can't really see much because of how dark it is, but there's definitely something or someone at the brow of that hill.
Yeah. See, it's picking up something.
Yeah.
It's like, mate, it's a fire. Look at the heat off. Look at the glow off it.
What the hell are they doing setting fires at this time of night? Car's gone past twice.
What, so we have two vehicles.
Yeah.
Go past. One was a van, definitely a little van.
Yeah.
And the other was,
Land Rover.
yeah,
A large fire burning in the middle of nowhere, with no visible people or explanation. Despite the disturbing events, they stayed through the night. Neither felt comfortable. Steve repeatedly checked outside, while Brendan remained inside his van heater, running at full power, waiting for daylight. What was meant to be a quiet stay in a peaceful place became one of the most unsettling camping experiences Brendan had ever recorded. Some believe the encounter involved people observing from a distance, while others think something far stranger was unfolding. If you were there, would you stay until morning or leave immediately? This video follows a solo van life journey deep in the forest, part of a series of quiet, minimalist trips where the creator looks for isolation and a sense of connection with nature. The evening started just as planned, testing gear lighting a campfire and making a round of s'mores. Everything suggested the night would be calm and uneventful, but that calm didn't last.
Guys, there's kind of like a sketchy truck. There's at least two guys in there. If you can see their brake lights here, they keep like stopping and going super slow. I don't know if they're just trying to check me out and see what I got going on. Obviously I carried that like nice power station and stuff back in here, so I didn't show myself like packing back up. But I'm by myself and I do not have, you know what, to shoot. So I got some bear base and like a knife and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to hang out here or if I'm going to go to a different spot tonight. I mean, I got my setup basically ready to go. Everything's back in the van. The fire's basically burnt out. So if I have to roll out of here, I just don't want them to be scoping me out and then tonight try to come in here and maybe mess with the van or try to rob me of what I got in here. So I'm just finishing up my coffee right now. I got the lights off in here just because I don't want them to be able to see in here very well, just in case they are being weirdos and trying to see what I got. They may be cool. Maybe they're just dealing with some vehicle issues, but you never know, man. When you're out in the middle of the woods by yourself, people do weird stuff, dude. So I'm kind of laying low right now.
While sitting near the fire, the atmosphere changed when a truck appeared on the nearby dirt road. It wasn't just driving through. It moved in a strange way, stopping slowly, rolling forward, then stopping again. There were at least two people inside, and their behavior immediately felt concerning. The truck's brake lights flashed on and off as it lingered uncomfortably close to the campsite. With expensive equipment inside the van and no clear reason for the truck's behavior, the creator began to feel exposed. Alone in the woods, and without much for protection beyond bear spray and a small blade, he decided not to take risks. The fire was allowed to die down, and he quietly began packing, ready to leave if the situation worsened. Not long after, a second vehicle showed up, less threatening, but still unusual. Although it didn't stay long, the timing was enough to reinforce the feeling that something wasn't right. Eventually, both vehicles drove away. The fire went out. From inside the van with the shades drawn, the creator reflected on what had just happened.
Well, guys, I am in the safe van. I have all the window shades up. That was by far the most sketchy situation I've been van camping. It's kind of hard to describe, but people were going extremely slow and being really weird. The second one might have been some kids doing something they shouldn't be, but the first one was just really weird. It took him about 10 minutes to go, and I mean, he was going super slow. He was leaning out like as if he was like listening for the sound of his car or something, but I'd never heard somebody go that slow, and just especially when you're right by somebody to be that weird. Like, wouldn't you you just go down the road a little bit. So I know there was a passenger in there. I don't know if there's other people in the back. It had really tinted windows. It's just kind of weird, especially when you have a nice power station, you got some nice equipment inside your van, and you never know if somebody's trying to like scout you out, see if you have a weapon, to see what you have, or see if you're a single female or something. Thankfully I'm a male, but if I was a female, a pretty female, you never know what would happen.
Out of all his solo camping trips, this one felt the most unsettling. He described the encounter as calculated, possibly predatory. It felt as though the strangers were evaluating the van, maybe searching for signs of weakness or valuables inside. Even though nothing happened that night, the unease remained. Had he been singled out, was the appearance of both vehicles connected in some way? The timing and behavior of the first truck suggested more than simple curiosity. In remote wilderness, slow and deliberate movements near a lone camper rarely suggest good intentions. The idea that the people were scouting the area whether to steal, intimidate, or something worse cannot be ignored. The second vehicle may have been unrelated, but its arrival so soon after only adds more questions. Was it just an unsettling coincidence? Or had someone noticed the camper earlier and returned with backup? When you're alone in the woods, far from help, even a small mistake in judgment can become deadly. And for those traveling solo, especially women, encounters like this can turn far more dangerous. Beast Runners is a YouTube channel usually recognized for calm, immersive hiking videos, encouraging viewers to slow down and take in the untouched beauty of mountain landscapes. This particular upload, however, took a sharply different direction. Rather than a scenic trek, the creator set out with a purpose. A hiker had been reported missing along Taiwan's Maolin Shan Trail. 5 days had passed since anyone last saw or heard from him. CCTV footage near the entrance showed the man entering the trail at around 8 a.m. On the 17th, and an Instagram story shared that same morning suggested he was in good spirits and eager to begin his hike. After that, there was nothing. No calls, no updates, only rising concern. The route he chose was not known for dependable water sources, and the surrounding terrain was dense and unforgiving. With each day that passed, the situation grew more serious. In response, the Beast Runner's creator chose to retrace the missing hiker's route. Carrying essential supplies and camera equipment, he headed out alone, fully aware that the journey might uncover something far more serious than scenic views. As he moved deeper into the wilderness, the familiar calm of hiking gave way to an unsettling quiet. Eventually, the trail led him to a creek, one of the few places in the area where someone might search for water or shelter. The scene was unexpectedly beautiful, filled with a flurry of butterflies that gave the moment an almost surreal feeling. But that calm didn't last. Hidden beyond rocks and vegetation near the creek, the missing hiker was finally found, but he had not survived. What followed was a careful and sobering process. The creator gently stabilized the body to keep it from being carried away by the current, doing everything possible to maintain dignity and respect. He then built a small signal fire, hoping the smoke would catch the attention of passing helicopters. GPS coordinates were sent to authorities right away. However, due to difficult terrain and timing, rescue teams were unable to arrive until 11 a.m. the following day. Only then was the body airlifted out and returned to the grieving family, bringing an end to days of uncertainty. In remote regions like Maolin Shan, successful searches often rely less on technology and more on instinct, timing, and determination. Without the Beast Runner's creator stepping in, it's possible the hiker might never have been found. His experience, intuition, and willingness to act quickly were crucial in providing closure for the family. It's sobering to consider how many others have disappeared in remote places like this, never to be found, and what might have happened if no one had walked the same trail. In a digital age filled with thrill-seeking content, moments like this remind us that some stories carry more weight than spectacle. They carry humanity. On July 7th, 2025, the team behind Fort Spooky returned to a location they hadn't investigated in quite some time, an abandoned property they were already familiar with, even though revisiting it hadn't been part of the original plan. The night began with a different destination in mind, but strong winds forced a last-minute change, guiding them back to the deteriorating house. What made the return more compelling was a recent report. Just days earlier, Zoe's son and a friend had been inside and claimed they saw a shadowy figure standing on the staircase.
Night, me and Zoe. Hi. I haven't got that set up properly, there we go. We've come to a house that we've been to a few times, but we haven't been for ages, have we? No. We were meant to go somewhere else. It is quite windy to go to the other place, and we decided to come here. And Zoe's son came here a few days ago, and Zoe's son's friend saw a dark figure up the stairs. Yes. So that creeps me out a bit, not gonna lie. If it was something, then it's amazing. And hopefully we get something tonight. We've only been a few nights ago, you know. Is something active in here at the minute? I don't know. But something, it feels like something called us here tonight. The wind called us here tonight because we couldn't do the other one maybe. I don't know. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We're feeling on edge, I will tell you now. We're feeling very on edge. But maybe we're giving off a lot of energy. Who knows? There is some wind, but we are quite sheltered in here. Someone's kind of done this makeshift, like doors up against the window, and it's quite like that in a couple of rooms, so we've got no wind coming in, so that's awesome.
That unsettling account altered the night's direction. Although the house provided some shelter from the wind, a sense of tension settled in almost immediately. Both investigators had explored the property before, but this visit felt different. Not overtly threatening, but charged with something they couldn't clearly define. Inside, they began setting up. Bell balls, simple noise-making devices that ring when moved, were placed throughout the house. Unlike standard light-up cat balls, these produced a sharp, distinct sound, making movement easier to identify. Bells were positioned near doorways on the old stove, and in several corners, all intended to capture subtle interaction. Outside, the wind caused occasional background noise with loose doors and wooden panels tapping now and then. The team carefully noted these natural sounds to avoid confusing them with activity inside the house.
So guys, we're just putting, I know you can't see, I'm sorry. Oh no, see Zoe, she's putting some bell balls. They're cat balls, but they're not the light up ones, they've got bells in. So if they move, it could well be something. And I've put one in the doorway down here. Thank you, Zoe.
It's all right.
And I'm going to put one in this doorway, I don't know why. I'm just going where I'm feeling. There we go. That's that one, and I'm going to put one in the room with us. Actually, I'm not going to put one in that corner. I'm going to put two on here, on the fire, or the stove, whatever it's called. Okay, so Zoe's son does actually want to come out tonight. So we are suggesting and asking if they want to come here. Yeah, we're suggesting that they want to come here because Russell is the guy that swears he saw a dark figure upstairs. And I think it would be interesting if he comes back. So we think he's coming.
Sorry, guys. No, he's not.
He's not. Never mind. We'll carry on. Hello? If you're not...
The first unusual moment came when one of the bell balls rang. It wasn't immediately clear which one had moved, but both investigators agreed the sound came from near the staircase, the same area where the dark figure had reportedly appeared. That bell had been placed in a protected spot well away from drafts or open windows. They paused, unsure whether it was coincidence or something more. Later, while reviewing audio from a stationary EVP recorder, they discovered something far more specific.
That's why I was wondering if it was residual.
Doing the kettle.
Yeah.
Right, let me try. Right, so the speakers are up here, aren't they? Sorry, let me get it on camera, guys. So, right, that is making the thingy go. So, right, so if I save that then, let's listen. We'll hear that. No, I'm recording again. Absolute sausage. Bear with. Right, we want 54. There we go. Right, mate, sorry, let me get it on camera, guys. So, right, that is making the thingy go.
No.
So, no. Right, so if I stay on recording
That's,
again. Yeah. Absolute sausage. Shall I try flicking it? Sorry, we need to test this. Right, let me try again. Right, get that on camera. We're recording, so let me flick it. We wouldn't hear that. Right, save. Oh, sorry, guys. Camera, we're recording, so let me flick it. Oh my God! And we wouldn't have heard that.
The playback captured two footsteps approaching a brief sound, like an object being flicked, followed by two footsteps moving away. None of it had been heard in real time, but the microphone had recorded it clearly. To test it, they recreated the sound on camera by flicking one of the bell balls. The result was nearly identical. But unlike the test, no one had been near the bell during the original moment. Whatever caused the sound had done so unnoticed, leaving only the audio behind.
Did you see a line?
But dark. Go down there.
Was it a line?
It's like something just went down like that. It was like a dot, but it sort of went curved.
That's a train in the distance. That's weird because I saw white. It was like, honestly, that's why I thought it was a cobweb, because it was that thin, sort of, and it was floaty, but there's nothing there. And it happened a few times, and you've just seen a dark one. Like, what was it, like it came downstairs?
Sort of started here, like here. Sorry, I'm trying to see with my eye.
You don't look weird at all, so.
I did that.
And just stopped?
Yeah. And it couldn't have been the light on my glasses because I've not moved.
Maybe we should keep going quiet for a bit, see.
As the night continued, subtle visual anomalies appeared, faint shapes, brief flickers of movement, and what one investigator described as a thin, floating line resembling a cobweb drifting unnaturally. At times, it felt as though they were being watched. Then, just as quickly as the energy built, it faded away. The silence returned. In paranormal investigations, it's common for activity to arrive in waves, short bursts of interaction, followed by sudden quiet. The team noted that the environment felt reactive at times, but only briefly. Some believe entities may simply observe, unless engaged, or only respond when energy is directed toward them. Could silence itself be a response, or were the investigators witnessing a routine they were never meant to interrupt? The house offered no clear answers, but the mix of sound, subtle visuals, and lingering unease was enough to leave an impression. If you are still watching, comment the hidden word horror. As the video came to a close, one final EVP session was attempted, but the house remained silent. Whether communication had ended or the presence had withdrawn, no one could say for certain. What they do know is that the most powerful moments in these investigations aren't always loud. They're the quiet ones that linger long after you've left. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to like and subscribe. Share your thoughts in the comments, what stood out to you and what didn't. More chilling encounters are coming, and trust us, you won't want to miss them. In just a few seconds, more disturbing videos will appear on your screen. And with that, we're out.